This is the Roulette Master, and I cannot wait to introduce to you the incredible new definite 9-way method from David from Italy. He says this is the absolute best way to play roulette. I can't wait to share this with you today and see how it does. And today we're going to put his incredible system up against a fantastic system, the new milestone method roulette system. And we're going to start with that first. Let's see which one of these great systems makes the most money in 15 minutes. And here we go with the milestone method. And with this one, we're going to mark the last 6 numbers that have hit, including any zeros there. So we'll mark the 9, the 23, the 0, the 6, the 25, and the 23. Okay, so once we do that, and actually the 23 is up there twice, so we go to the next one. So we go to the 4, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to put a dollar on every other number, and then we're going to remove those marker bets. So let's go ahead and do that. And if you have really small chips where you're playing, you can put those on the marker bets, and that way it'll be a little bit safer, just in case the wheel spins. And here we go. So once we have those out there, we're going to take the marker bets off. So let's go ahead and do that now. And what this is going to do is it leaves the last 6 numbers that have hit uncovered. Okay, now we have a $32 total bet. So let's go ahead and spin. And I'll share with you how this one makes a lot of money. It starts out making just a little bit of money, but in no time at all, it's going to make a lot of money. So you can see it starts out with just a $4 win, but that's going to be escalated a lot here very quickly, and I'll show you how that works. So we're going to get rid of the 15 that just hit. So let's take that out of there and then spin again. Now we have a $31 total bet, and this one's just been doing fantastic lately, the milestone method. I can't wait to see how it does today, and that's another win. And again, these look like small wins so far, but don't worry, we're going to be winning a lot of money here very shortly. So let's go ahead and now remove the 11, and then spin, and here we go. And let's see what we get on this one. These are going to be $100 milestones, so that's a $6 win there. Let's go ahead and remove the 28. We're up 15. But we'll be up a lot more here soon, and let's take that 28 out. And let's go ahead and spin. Now we have a $29 total bet and 29 numbers covered. That's a 10 black. Okay, that's a win. It's a $7 win. We're up 22. And now we're going to take the 10 out. So let's do that. And I just received some amazing emails about this system this week saying it's their favorite new system. So I definitely wanted to do this one again. Whenever I hear great feedback from you guys, always want to share something again. And that was an $8 win. We're up 30. So you can see with each win, when we remove these bets, we start winning more. And you're going to see that even more once we have a loss. And it's actually going to escalate our profits once we have a loss. And I'll share with you how that works here in a second. That's a $9 win. We're up $39. We're going to now take out the 27. And here we go. So thank you all for those really nice emails. Anytime, I love hearing good stuff about systems or bad stuff. It's all good because it's great feedback. And that's a $26 loss. So here's what we're going to do now is we're just going to double the bet. And you're going to notice that actually our profits are going to escalate now that we had our first loss. So let's go ahead and get a win here, and that's a 14 red. Okay, that's a $20 win. So now we're up 33, and we're going to remove the 14. And in no time at all here, I'm betting we're going to get to our first milestone of $100 profit. We're currently at a $50 bet with the milestone method, and here we go. That's a 2 black. Okay, that's a nice $22 win. We're up 55. So let's go ahead and we will now remove the 2. So let's do that. And let's go ahead and spin. Now we have a $48 bet out there. And let's get a win. That's a 3 red. It's another win, $24 win, and we're up $79. So we're getting close to that first milestone of $100 profit, and that's when we reset. So each $100 in profit, we reset. Now we have a $46 total bet out there and 23 numbers covered. That's a 16 red. That's a nice $26 win. And look at that. We made our first milestone. Our next milestone is going to be $200. So we restart now. So we go ahead and we mark the last 6 numbers. We'll go 16, 3, 2, 14, 11, and 27. Oh, not 17, 27. And then we'll put $1 on everything else. And then we'll remove those markers. So let's do it again. Then we'll get to $200 profit, and then 3, and then 4, and so on. And that's awesome. So here we go. Okay, once we got all of these on there, we go ahead and remove the marker bets. And again, if you're playing with much smaller chips, go ahead and put smaller chips on the marker bets until you pull them off. And then now we have a $32 total bet. Remember, we're trying to get to a $200 profit. That's our next milestone, and that's a 00 there. Okay, and that is a $4 win. So we are currently up 109. We'll remove the 00. So let's do that. Okay, so we will have a $31 total bet now. And that's a 35 black. Okay, so that's a $5 win there, and we're up 114. So let's now remove the 35. Okay, now we have a $30 bet out there, trying to get to 200 as our next milestone. And that's a 0. That's a good one, I think. Okay, that's a $6 win. We're up 120. We'll remove the 0. It's nice when zeros are wins, and let's go ahead and spin again here. Now we have 29 numbers covered at $29 bet. And that's a 29 black. Lots of 29s, and we're up $127. We'll remove the 29. And I saw Kentucky White was commenting about the practicing, which I was talking about in the last video. Thank you so much, Kentucky White, for talking about that as well, because it really is so important that you practice these before you go to the casino. And we lost that one, so we're going to go ahead and double and spin. And you need to have a plan in place when you go to the casino, not just wing it. And again, every time I go and I see the same thing. No one has a plan, and everyone ends up, they start out okay, and then they leave without any money. So have a plan, stick to it, and practice it before you go to the casino. So let's go ahead now, and we'll remove the 13. Okay, and we're at a $54 total bet there. And so yeah, thanks for chiming in on that, Kentucky White. And that is a 22 black there. That's an $18 win. We're up $133. Let's remove the 22. And then let's spin again here, and let's see what we get. That's a 5 red. That's a good win. We're up 153. Let's remove the 5. We'll probably get to the next milestone a little bit quicker actually, because we had a early loss. So actually losing can get your profits up higher. Obviously you don't want too many losses, but a few losses won't hurt at all. And that's a $22 win. We're up 175, and you're probably noticing we're getting to this milestone a little quicker. And again, that's because I think we lost the first or second spin this go around. So let's see what we get here. That's a 30 red. Okay, that's a $24 win, and we're almost there. So let's remove the 30. And now we have a $46 bet out there with the milestone method. And that's a 24 black. Fantastic. So we did reach our new milestone. We're up to 25. Our next milestone will be $300. So let's restart. And again, we'll start by marking those bets. So let's go ahead and we'll mark the last 6 that have hit: the 24, the 30, the 17, the 5, the 22, and the 13. Okay, there's our 6. So let's put a dollar on the rest, and then we'll remove those $10 marker bets. All right, here we go. And again, this has been doing so great lately, and so many nice comments about this one. So love seeing that, but I like seeing any comments at all, because whether it's good or bad, it is feedback, and that's what we all want in this community. Let's remove the marker bets now. And we can do a lot more together than we can apart. So having this many people test these systems really helps. So we're at a $32 total bet now. Our next milestone is going to be $300, and that's a 16 red. Okay, that's a $4 win, and we're up $229. And just like I told you earlier, you're probably like, $4? What's that all about? But it doesn't take that long to get up over $200, does it? So let's go ahead and spin again, and here we go. That's the first thing I thought when I first tested this. I was like, $4? That's going to take a while to get some money, and it doesn't, because the profits escalate so quickly. And let's go ahead, and we'll remove that 0, and then spin again at $30. 30 numbers covered, $30 total bet, and that's a 13 black. Okay, we lost, but again, as we saw in the previous one, and we double when we lose, an early loss can actually help you get to the next milestone quicker. So obviously you don't want a crazy amount of losses, but it'll actually help us get there, and we're up 216 now. Let's remove the 20. Okay, and now we'll be at a $58 total bet. And here we go. I think we have 29 numbers covered. That's a 2 black. That's a nice win. We're up 230, trying to get to 300 for our next milestone, playing the milestone method. And let's go ahead and spin again here. Let's see what we get. That is a 24 black. Okay, we lost. And again, that'll, as long as we don't have a ton of those, that'll actually help us get to our milestone quicker. And let's get a win here. That's a 34 red. That's a $32 win. We're up 206, and let's go ahead and remove the 34. And even though we had a small setback there, you'll see it actually gets us to the $300 milestone quicker because we're winning much more on each spin, and that's a 16 red. But we lost again, so obviously we don't want a ton of losses. But let's go ahead now, and you can see temporarily that drops our profit down. But let's get a win here. We still have a lot of numbers covered. It's still high coverage. And that's a 26 black. Okay, that's a good $72 win. We're up 170, trying to get to 300 as our next milestone. So let's do that. And it's not going to take too many wins at this bet amount to get us up there. So let's see if we can get some good wins here. We still have high coverage, and that's a 12 red. And that's an $80 win. So we're up 250, and you can see we're only one spin away from our next milestone, even after those losses at high coverage. So that's pretty cool. And this is a $200 bet. If we hit it, we will reach our next milestone of $300, I believe. And that's a 31 black. And that's an $88 win. There we go. That's a new milestone at $300. We're up 338, and our next milestone will be 400. So we restart, and we start by marking these last 6 numbers again. So let's do that. We got the 31, the 12, the 26, the 16, the 34, and the 24. Okay, and let's put $1 on everything else as we do, and with the milestone method. And I would love to get more feedback from you guys on this one. Again, I've received so much positive feedback, but any feedback at all is always very welcome. There's only so many things you can test by yourself, but as a community, we can really test these systems, and that's what it's all about. So let's go ahead and remove these marker bets now, and then we'll get to our next milestone. Here we go. Okay, so we're at a $32 total bet, and here we go again. Let's see how this one finishes up here before we get to that new system of the day. And that's a 32 red. That's a $4 win. We're trying to get to 400. We're up 342, and we will remove the 32 now. So let's go ahead and do that. And spin, and here we go. That's a 15 black. That's another win, and we're up 347. Let's remove the 15. There we go, and now we have a $30 bet with 30 numbers covered. Still super high coverage, and that's why we're getting so many wins. That's a 14 red. That's a $6 win. We're up 353. We will remove the 14 now. And we're at a $29 total bet now. 29 numbers covered. Again, still really high coverage, even though we're dropping one each time we win. But we lost. And if you guys saw in the previous one we went through that when you lose early, it actually can help you get to your next milestone a lot quicker, as long as you don't have a ton of losses at high coverage. And that's a 35 black. And the only way you will is if you have a bunch of repeat numbers. So we're up 338. We're going to remove the 35. So let's do that and spin. This is a $56 total bet. We're coming down the stretch here, and that's a 32 red. Okay, we lost again, so let's go ahead and double that bet and spin. And let's see what we get here. That's a 32 red. Wow, we lost again, so it's repeating. So okay, we're coming down the stretch here, but you're getting to see it really be tested right now. So let's see what happens. That's a 19 red. The good thing is we're still at really high coverage, and we're still up $234. Those are the positive things. So let's remove that, and let's get a win here at 216. Okay, that's a 15 black. We lost again. My goodness. Okay, so a lot of repeaters, and you can see the ones we've lost are repeaters. This is a $2,000 bankroll system, so let's see what we get here. That's a 28 black. We still have really nice high coverage. We're up $162, and let's remove the 28. So we should still get a decent amount of wins with this many numbers out there. We just had a bunch of repeaters recently, so that's a 17 black. Okay, that's a $160 win. Now we're back up $322. So let's remove the 17. And spin. All right, here we go. That's a 14 red. Oh, that's a loss. And let's see. We just hit the 15-minute mark. Let's go just a little bit over here to recover this one so you guys can see it, because I think you're... so let's also see what we have left in there. Obviously, we have enough to place the next bet, but I don't like seeing the bets get this high with this system, obviously. If you get up a lot, you can adjust your, your betting a little bit, but that's a $352 win. Look at that, though. We're already back up $274. So what I would recommend if you're playing this system, even if you're, say, up $400, if you get the bets super high like this and you're up like $274 like we are right now, do not keep trying to pull numbers off. Reset. You can always build it back up pretty quickly. You saw how quickly we got those milestones. So it's not worth the risk of a high bet amount like that. Even though we have high coverage, there's still a chance that we could get a repeat and we could lose our bankroll. So if the bets get high and you're in good profit, I would recommend resetting. So now it is time for the new roulette system of the day. I can't wait to share this one with you from David from Italy. And let's jump right in and get started. Here we go. All right, the time is finally here for the definitive 9-way method by David from Italy. He said this is the only way to play, and it's absolutely fantastic. So let's go ahead and try it out and see how much money we can make in the next 15 minutes. And let's place our bets. We're going to start with 6 streets on this one, and we're going to have them just like this, but you can put them wherever you want as long as there's 6 streets, and that's a $30 bet. You can see we have a 0 balance, and let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. That's a 34 red. Okay, and if you win, you just repeat the bet. So we're already up $30. Let's just rebet and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 33 black. And we lost. So if we lose on this one, what we're going to do next is we're going to add one more street at $5, and then we're going to double the bet. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we're at a $70 total bet out there. That's a 3 red. Okay, we lost again. So if you lose the second time, what we're going to do is we are going to add another street in, but we need to add it in what the other ones are at. So they're at 10, so we're going to need to add one in at 10, and then we're going to double this one. And now all of a sudden you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go ahead and double that and spin, and let's see what we get here. That's a 15 black. Okay, we got a win there. And you can see we're up $10. So we're going to reset now. And let's start with 6 again. And again, you can pick any 6 that you want. Okay, so that's a $30 bet. Let's go ahead and spin again here. This is the definitive 9-way method. We'll get to the 9 ways here, and by David from Italy. That's a nice $30 win. We're up $40. So let's just rebet and spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 12 red. Okay, that's a $30 win. We're up $70. We'll just rebet and spin. See how many wins we can get here at base level. And that's a 28 black. Okay, that's another win. So now we're up $100 already. And we'll get to the rest of the definitive 9-way method here in a minute. And I'll share with you, what it means and what you do when you get there. So that's another nice win. We're up $130. And so far, so good, David. And let's see where this takes us. That's a 00 there, though. That's a loss. So when we lose, we're going to add one more street. And then we're going to double the bet and spin. Here we go. That's a 9 red. Okay, we got the win. So now we are up $150. We restart. And let's start with, let's do 6 different streets this time. We'll mix it up a little bit here and spin as long as you pick 6. Again, this is the definitive 9-way method from David. And that is a nice win there. Wins at base level really do well for you here. We're up $180 already. And then you just recover on the ones that you lose, and I'll share with you how to do that once we have some more losses here. That's a 5 red. We lost, so we're going to add another street in, and then we're going to double the bet. And here we go. Let's see if we can get a win so we can restart. That's a 19 red. Fantastic. So now we're up $200, and we pick, let's go ahead and let's pick our 6 streets and spin. So we're starting out with 6. We went to 7 there, and that's a 22 black. We lost, so we're going to add a street. Let's add it in right here and then double. And let's see if we can get a win here to restart. That's a 26 black. And that's a nice win. So we're up to 20. We reset. I'm sure we'll have more losses than that, and then I'll share with you what to do next. And let's go ahead and spin. This is the definitive 9-way method from David from Italy, and that's a 00. So we definitely lost that one. So let's add our another street in. And then let's go ahead and double and spin at this level and the next one. If you get a win, you restart. And I'll share with you what to do when you get to the 9th way. And that's a nice win there. And we're up $240. Let's do our 6 streets again. And here we go. Oh my goodness, another 00. So let's go ahead and add a street. And then we'll double and spin. So at this level and the next level, one win will reset you. The next level, you're not making profit, but at that point, you're trying to reset. So let's go ahead and we're going to add one more in here. Remember, this one needs to go in at 10 because the rest are already at 10. So let's do that, and then we'll double the bet. And if we get one win here, we reset. Now that's going to change once we get to the 9th method or the 9th way. And that's a nice win there. So Now we're up $220 and we reset, but we'll get there. And let's put our 6 streets out again and spin. And here we go. We don't try to get more than 1 win there just because we're trying to protect our bankroll and we're still making a lot of money. So there's no need to be greedy there. So let's go ahead and we're going to add 1 more street in and double after that loss. Now we're at 7. And that's a 28 black. That's a nice win. So we're up 240. Okay, let's pick some different ones. There's our 6 streets, and let's spin with the definitive 9-way method from David from Italy, and that's an 11 black. Okay, we lost that one. Let's add a street in and double. All right, let's go ahead and spin and see what we get here. Okay, that's a 35 black. Okay, we lost that one. So this next street, remember, needs to go in at 10 because the rest are already at 10, and then we double that bet. And if we get a win here, we reset. That's a 12 red. But we lost. Okay, so now you can see all these bets here are at 20, so we got to add one in at 20. Let's go ahead and do that with 10 so they look the same. And then we're going to go ahead and double the bet. Now we need 2 wins because now we're at the 9th way. And let's get 2 wins right here. But we also have more numbers covered, so we have a much better chance of getting those 2 wins. You can see why we need 2 wins because it did drop us back in profit. So let's get our 2 wins, and that's a 3 red. Okay, we got them. So now we're up 220. We reset. And a lot of the money you make on this one's is at this base level. So let's go back to that base level because you see at the base level you're making $30 per win, and really the rest of it's just to try to get to protect your bankroll and get you back to making $30 per spin, if that makes sense to you. So let's go ahead and add another street in and then double. And then once you do that, you go from 6 to 7. So now we have 21 numbers. And then we go to 24 and then to 27. That's a nice win. We're up $240. And the reason you don't want to risk it a lot at the high levels is because, I mean, the winning the $30 per spin at base level is where you're making your money at. The rest of it is just mainly to get yourself out of trouble. And that's a loss there. You also do pretty well on this second one here at when you go from 6 to 7. This is really good for profit as well. So let's go ahead and spin after we doubled the bet and increased from 6 to 7 streets. That's a 9 red, but we lost that one. So now we're more in recovery mode, and we'll add this next one in at 10, and then we're going to go ahead and double. And again, 1 win here will reset us, even though we're not making profit. It's all about protecting your bankroll at this point. So that's an $80 win. So we're up 220, and it's okay to take small setbacks there because we're making so much money at base level. All we're really wanting to do is get back to base level and make money off the first or second loss, and or off the after the first loss. So we lost there, and you're still in pretty good shape after you lose this first one, because if you get a win here with 7 streets at 21, you're still making really good profit. That's a 15 black, but we lost again. So now we're more in recovery mode. We'll add this next one in at 10 and double. And again, it's okay that we're not making money on this next win. We're just trying to protect our bankroll. So that's a 15 black. We got the win, and you see it dropped us back to 200, but that's okay. Because once we start getting some more $30 wins, we're going to be really high in profit again, and probably even more than before. That's a 14 red. And again, even if you lose the first one, not a big deal, because if you get the win here on the second one, you're still making really good profit. And here we go. That's a 4 black. There we go. That's a $50 win. We're back up to 20, so we picked up some money there. And let's see if we can. We haven't got any wins at base level in a while. Those really add up. So let's see if we can get a few of those. That's a 17 black. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're back up 250. Let's just stay at base level and see if we can rack up a couple wins in a row here. Okay, that's an 11 black. That's nice. Now we're talking, and we're up 280. You can see how fast the profits start to accumulate when you get base level wins or wins after one loss. And that's a 19 red. And most of the time, you're going to get a win on the first one or the second one, and that's bringing your profits up. So let's double after we added that street from 6 to 7. And that's a 15 black. We lost. Okay, so now we have to add this next one in at 10 and then double and then try to get a win here. Even if it sets us back just a little, we're trying to protect our bankroll at this point. And that's a 21 red. And we lost, so this next one goes in at 20. And then, and let's do those with $10 chips so they look the same. And actually, let's move it. Let's move this one over here and make sure that's 20. And then we'll double. And now we need 2 wins because we are at the 9th way now, the 9th street, and that's a 5 red. But you're going to get a lot more wins because you have higher coverage at this level. But you can see why we need our second win. It dropped us back to 140 temporarily. So let's get a win here. And that's a 25 red. And there's our second win. We restart. And if you lose there, you have to double again. That's why you have a $2,000 bankroll. We're up $260. So let's restart. And actually, I'm sorry. Those should be $5 bets. Let me put those back out there. There we go, and let's spin. All right, let's see how this one closes things up here and in the next 2 minutes, and that's at 36. That's a loss. But again, no big deal if you lose the first one. We're just going to add a 7th street in and spin. And still get good profit here if you get a win after the loss. And that's a 20 black. Okay, fantastic. So now we're up 280. You can see the profits are coming back up. And we'll add 6 streets in and spin. And here we go. That's a 24 black. That's a nice win. Again, these base level wins really add up the profit. You see we're up 310 now. So let's see how many wins we can get. Even if it's just a couple, they really, really help you. So let's see what we get. That's an 8 black. That's a loss. So we will add a street in. And let's go ahead and double now and spin. Okay, this is the definitive 9-way roulette system from David. And we lost, so let's add another street. So remember, we add these ones in at, let's see, so those are at 10. So this next one's going to go in at 20. Yeah, we have 7 now, so we're going to 8. And make sure that's right. No, this one next, it needs to go in at 10, and then we double. So let's make sure we get that right, and then spin and get a win here. All right, we're coming down the stretch here. Let's see if we can recover, and that's a 26 black. And we did, so it's okay to take a little setback. We're still up $290. And you're going to get so much you're going to win so much money at level 1 and level 2 that it's really not worth it at the high levels. You just want to get back to level 1 so you can start making some money. And that's the time is up. So $290 profit in 15 minutes. Thank you, David from Italy, for sending this one in. Really appreciate it, and hope you enjoyed both systems today. And remember to send your systems into roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. That's roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. And I really love testing these systems each and every day to find the best one. And you guys are awesome. So keep sending them in, and we'll keep testing them out together and looking for the absolute best roulette system that there is. And I sure love that search. And if you're loving the search with me, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. This is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.